Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to continue what we were working on yesterday, or before this video if you're watching both on the same day. That's fine. We talked about this zero-sum property yesterday and solving quadratics. Now we're going to use that zero-sum property again, but first we need to factor. Sometimes this is not the easiest thing to do, but that's okay, because I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm also going to show you how to check these problems at the end using your calculator. So, let's start it. First things first, need to factor. So, we have 1, alright, in front, and we're going to multiply. 1 times negative 14 is negative 14. We have a negative 5. And then I got to write my factors of the top numbers. So, 14. Use your calculator, and all I'm going to do here is 1, 14, 2, and 7. Okay. Now, you can use your sheet that I gave you before to figure out which ones are positive and which ones are negatives. I'm going to start walking through how to do these in my head. So, since the top number is negative, that means I have to have one positive number and one negative number. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom and see what this is. If this is positive, my big numbers will be positive. If this is negative, my big numbers will be negative. Since the bottom is negative, that means my big numbers will be negative. And after I do that, I'm going to add them up. Negative 13, and we have negative 5. Excellent, great. At which point, if we write our stuff out, so we have 1 m squared, we have, gotta put my numbers here, we got 2 and negative 7. We've got positive 2m, we have minus 7m, and we've got a minus 14. Alright. Now, just like we did before, we're going to split these up. Okay. And now we're going to use our GCDs. So we've got 1 and 2. Go over here. We're going to use GCD parentheses 1 comma 2. Oh, answer's 1. Okay, great. So I'm just going to have a 1 in front. And I look at my letters. I've got m squared and m. So I'm going to use one of these m's. Parentheses. 1 divided by 1. I should know by now that is 1. Actually, you know what? I gotta write my 1 m there and 1 m there, just so we don't forget. 1 divided by 1 is 1. M squared divided by m. I should know by now that is an m. 2 divided by 1. If you're not sure, please just use your calculator. 2 divided 1. Oh, no, 7. 1. 2. Okay. So it's a positive 2. Positive 2. And I've got m divided by m, same thing. Cross them off. There's my first one. Now my second one. Same idea. We've got 7 and 14. GCD. GCD parentheses 7 comma 14. Enter. 7. Great. So divide both these by 7. Now if I remember, there's a negative in front, which means I've got to make my first one negative like that. If the first term is not negative, it stays positive. I don't care about the second term. But we got negative 7 divided by negative 7. So first we do negative 7 parentheses. If you are not sure about this, please use your calculator. Negative 7 divide negative 7. Enter. Positive 1. Okay. 1. Got my m. Negative 14 divided by negative 7. Negative 14 divide negative 7. Enter. 2. Positive 2. Great. So, remember, these two have to be the same. They are. Good job. So we got 1 m plus 2. I also have 1m minus 7 equals 0. And after I do all that, I need to solve them. Okay, so we have 1m plus 2 equals 0. 1m minus 7 equals 0. Solve it. Minus 2, minus 2. M equals negative 2. If you want, you can keep your 1 there and divide by 1. I know that 1m is the same as just m, so I'm not going to bother. Plus 7, plus 7. 1m equals positive 7. If you really, again, if you want to, you can always divide by 1. But I know that if it's 1, it's just going to be the exact same thing. So now, I have two answers here. As a matter of fact, I'm not worried about the second one since we're doing plenty of these. I'm going to cover over that just so I can show you how to check. Okay, checking is going to be very simple, but it also is going to take some doing. So, what I'm going to tell you to do is just watch what I'm doing. Okay? So, first thing we're going to do is solve. Menu 3, enter. Okay? You're just going to plug your numbers in just the way you see it. M squared minus 5n minus 14. So, you can use m squared if you want. Minus 5m minus 14. I'm going to double check I did that correctly. 1m squared minus 5n minus 14. M squared minus 5n minus 14. If you want, you can put a 1 there. It does not matter. And of course, it says equals to 0. Now, here is the deal. If you have a squared in this, you need to say, when you do your comma, your letter, so I used m in here, comma m. Since there is a squared, I have to write equals 100. And then I'm going to copy this, go up and up, and copy it, or you could rewrite the whole thing if you wanted to, and you're going to make that x equals a negative 100. So I've got to do this 2 times. If I do it 2 times, if I look, 7 and negative 2. Now I'm going to write this thing out. So, and solve m squared minus 5m minus 14 equals 0, comma, m equals 100. And solve m squared minus 5m minus 14 equals 0, comma, m equals negative 100. Alright, and then you're going to write your answers down. So 7 and negative 2. So that's it. It's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. You know that, I know that. As long as you learn how to do factoring, this should not be terrible for you. Alright, yeah, I like that one. Okay, so again, I'm just going to copy over this one because I don't think we need to do 800 of these. Here's the deal. When we solve these, they need to equal 0. Over here, this says equals 18. I don't want equals 18. How do I move that 18 to the other side to make it say equals 0? Well, opposite of a positive 18 is a minus 18 on both sides. So when I do this, I've got x squared minus 7x minus 18 equals 0. And some of you may ask me, well, Mr. Dracup, why didn't I say negative 7 minus 18? Remember, that has an x. This does not. So I can't add them together. Alright, once I get here, start factoring. Okay. Negative 18, if you want to put a 1 there, put a 1 there, that's cool. Negative 7, 18 is, let's see, we have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Again, if you're not sure how to do that, either use the factor sheet, of course. We could also go to my graph 18, divide x, control T. And I'll give you all your factors. I don't worry about positive and negatives until the second part. I say, okay, so I've got a negative on top. That means I got 1 plus and 1 minus. I have a negative on the bottom, which means my biggest number will be negative. Okay, so now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to add them up. So we got negative 17, we have negative 7, we have negative 3. So obviously it's going to be this one. This is negative 7, 2, negative 9. Okay, so we have 1x squared plus 2x minus 9x minus 18 equals 0. Excuse me. Okay, split it up. So I gotta use my GCD of 1 and 2. Okay, so GCD parentheses 1 comma 2 1. Okay, so we have 1. I've got x squared and x. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I've got 1x parentheses. Now 1 divided by 1, we should all know that's 1. I'm not going to do that one. X squared divided by x. Subtract 2 of them. Take away 1 of them. There's just 1's left. Positive 2 divided by positive 1 again. You should all know that. And x, cross it off. If you do not know that, please use your calculator. I mean, we should all know that one though. Okay, next one, we've got 9 and 18. GCD 9, 18. GCD, parentheses, 9, comma, 18. Enter. 9. Great. Now remember, there's a negative in front, so I got a negative for each of these. So I've got negative 9. Parentheses. Negative 9 divided by negative 9. If you are not sure, use your calculator. Get 1. Okay. 1. We have my x. Negative 18 divided by negative 9. Negative 18 divide negative 9. Enter. 2. Great. Positive 2. Okay. Don't have to equal anything yet. Okay, now we've got my equation. Now remember, always remember, these two have to be the same. So I've got parentheses 1x plus 2. If they're not the same, then you mess something up. Alright, so I write this down, and that's going to, whole thing's going to equal 0. So you've got 1x plus 2. And we got 1x minus 9 equals 0. Split them up. 1x plus 2 equals 0. 1x minus 9 equals 0. Solve. 1x equals negative 2. And again, I know that there's a 1 that's going to be the same thing. If you really want to, you can divide by, I don't know why I put negative there. Don't do that. You can divide by the 1, but you're going to get the same answer. Okay, plus 9, plus 9. 1x equals 9. That's 9. That does not look like a 9. Let me make that look like 9. That's horrible. Okay, divide by 1, divide by 1. X equals 9. Okay. That's a good job. Now I always do end solve. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to watch you do your checks, but it is always a great idea to check your stuff. So, now what's nice, end solve x squared minus 7x equals 18, comma, I see an x squared, so it's going to be x equals 100, and solve x squared minus 7x equals 18, comma, x equals negative 100. Alright, I messed that up again. Stop that, Mr. Dracup. What are you doing? Okay, so there you go. Menu, 3 enter. Okay, x squared minus 7x equals 18, comma, x equals 100. X equals negative 100. Negative 2 and a positive 9. I am pretty sure that's the correct answer. Hey. So x equals positive 9, x equals negative 2. Great job. Again, this isn't terribly hard. I'm going to do one more. I'm looking for a good one. I kind of like this one. Actually, I really like this one. This is a good one. Alright, here we go. This problem, same idea as before. First thing you need to do is you need to move all the letters to the same side. It has to say equals 0. Now, some people would be like, hey, wouldn't it be easier if I just move the 2 over? No, it would not. Actually, I'm going to go back one. I'm going to go to the other one in a second. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to do... Yeah, I like the second one. So why don't we take this one? Oh. Take this one over here. Perfect. Okay, so same ideas before. You got to move everything over. So I was opposite of a negative 3 is a positive 3. Okay, now notice this is a plane number, so I've got to combine with my plane number. So I've got 2d squared plus 5d minus 15 plus negative 15 plus 3 would be a negative 12 equals 0. Do my usual stuff. Okay, 2 times negative 12 is a negative 24. Okay, now we got 5d right there. Okay, and I do 24 over here. 24. So I got 1 and 24. 2 and 12. 3 and 8. 4 and 6. Okay, top's negative, which means I got 1 positive, 1 negative. Bottom's positive, which means I have the big number has to be positive, and the small number will turn negative. I'm going to add these together. Negative 1 and 24 is a positive 23. Negative 2 and 12 is a positive 10. Negative 3 and 8 is a positive 5, and negative 4 and 6 is a positive 2. Excellent. So obviously I look 5, 5, that's what I want. So negative 3 and 8. Okay, now, just for fun, no, actually I'm going to do this one like this. So we've got 2d squared minus 3d plus 8d minus 12. Okay, split them up. Okay, 2 and 3. Okay, so we just do GCD. GCD, parentheses, 2, comma, 3, 1. Okay. So we've got 1. I've got D and D, so I've got 1D. So now I've got 1D in front. 2 divided by 1 is 1. D2 and D1 is D. We should... Oh, yep. Excuse me. Negative 3 divided by a positive 1. If you're not sure, please put in your calculator. Negative 3 divided by positive 1 is a negative 3. Great. Okay. Now, 8 and 12. GCD. GCD. 8. Oh, sorry. GCD, parentheses, 8, comma, 12. That's a 4. Okay. 4. D, no D, so it's only going to be 4. So we have 8 divided by 4 is 2. If you do not know, please use your calculator. Negative 12 divided by a positive 4 is going to be a negative 3. There's a problem. See? Look what just happened there. I saw that I made a mistake. Because these two are different. So I had to go back. Wait, 2 divided by 1? That's not 1. 2 divided by 1 is a 2. See? I make mistakes sometimes too. So now, I got that all fixed. I'm like, oh, okay, great job. So we have 2d minus 3. I have 1d plus 4. Excellent. The whole thing equals 0. So 2d minus 3 equals 0. 1d, okay, plus 3, plus 3, divide 2, divide 2. D equals 3 over 2, that's fine. Minus 4, minus 4. Divide 1, divide 1. D equals negative 4. Okay, and solve. Now, I suggest you use the original problem because that way you can see if you made any mistakes. D minus 15 equals negative 3. Of course, you can't forget my comma, comma. Since it has a square, I've got x equals a positive 100 and x equals a negative 100. Okay, now 2d squared plus 5d. 2d squared plus... Oh, forgot my unsolved, silly Mr. Jacob. Menu, 3 and enter. 2d squared plus 5d plus 5d minus 15 equals negative 3. Minus 15 equals negative 3. Now remember, these are different. This is a minus sign. Excuse me, this is a negative sign. This is a minus. If you are not sure which one to put, use the minus sign. Okay? Minus sign will almost always work for either, but the negative sign will never work for subtraction. Okay, so, comma, d equals 100. Okay, and d equals a negative 100. So I've got negative 4 and 1.5. Okay, so d equals, sorry about that. D equals 1.5 and negative 4. Now, I got an answer 3 over 2. Now, what I could do is I could just say, oh, well, I think these are the same. Why don't we find out? D equals, just come to your calculator. Okay, control divide. 3 over 2. No. 3 over 2 with a dot next to one of the numbers and press enter. Oh my, holy smokes, it's the same thing. So, they are the exact same thing. Alright, give me a second. Alright, so look guys, these are all basically the same thing over and over again. Okay, now, we got a few things to do. You're going to be doing some delta math, you're going to be doing some IXL. Everything is in your in the folders, so if you have any problems, please just let me know. Have a great day. Bye.